Hey guys, I am Frank. Today I want to take you back into the kitchen, but not just to talk about sugar, seed oils, or fried food. You have heard that a million times already. I want to talk about a hidden character called acrylamide, something that is created by the way we cook, not something the food company pours in on purpose. Basically, when starch and refined sugar meet certain proteins and get cooked at high temperatures, especially when we fry, roast, or bake things until they are golden brown, you trigger a kind of chemical show in the pan called the Maillard reaction. That is what makes fries, toast, and cookies look golden, crispy, and smell amazing, but at the same time, it also creates acrylamide. In that reaction, there is an amino acid called asparagine that teams up with refined sugars, and when things get hot enough, you do not just get acrylamide, you also get a follow-up compound that is even nastier called glycinamide. That is one big reason why so many health organizations classify acrylamide as possibly carcinogenic to humans. The tricky part is that acrylamide shows up in a lot of foods we love. French fries, potato chips, cookies, crackers, breakfast cereals, the dark crust of toasted bread, and even in roasted coffee. You will never see it on the label because it is a byproduct of processing, especially in ultra-processed foods, not an added ingredient. After the age of 40, our bodies repair damage less efficiently. So if I am eating a ton of ultra-processed, deep-fried, dark brown stuff every single day, I am basically letting my body bathe again and again in a mix of Maillard reaction products, asparagine, acrylamide, and glycinamide. The good news is I do not have to live like a monk. I just need to adjust how I cook and how I combine foods. For example, not all fats behave the same when you fry. When people use a lot of refined seed oils to fry fries and chips, acrylamide formation is very easy. But if you use more stable saturated fats, like a bit of animal fat, coconut oil, or butter, and keep the temperature at a reasonable level, the risk of forming acrylamide is lower. That does not mean I am telling you to drown everything in animal fat. I am saying that for the exact same fried dish, the type of fat changes the chemistry. On top of that, if I cook in a slow and low way, with slow cooking, braising, stewing at lower temperatures, and avoid pushing foods to that dark brown stage, the Maillard reaction is milder and far less acrylamide is produced than with super hot deep frying. Even when I use an air fryer, if I am obsessed with making everything very dark, very crunchy, and deeply browned, acrylamide can still show up, because the core formula is the same. Starch meets high heat and gets browned. The air fryer cuts the oil, but it does not magically erase the Maillard reaction. On the sugar side, when I use highly refined sugars like corn syrup, dextrose, or maltodextrin in fried or baked foods, they react very fast and make acrylamide formation easier. If I absolutely have to make something sweet, I will lean toward using a more natural sugar in small amounts, or better yet, design my overall meal. So most of the sweetness comes from whole fruit rather than pumping syrup into everything. Even my morning coffee has its own story. Organic dark roast coffee or espresso usually contains less acrylamide than light roast, because when you roast the beans darker, some of the acrylamide has already broken down. So if I am a coffee person, choosing organic dark roast is a gentler option for my body, and the bigger win is not pairing every coffee with a donut, cookie, or pastry, because that combo is the real punch to blood sugar, blood lipids, and all kinds of nasty reactions inside the body. In the end, I do not need you to memorize scary words like Maillard reaction, asparagine, or glycinamide. What I want you to understand is the principle. When we eat a lot of ultra-processed foods that are fried or baked to a deep brown using seed oils and refined sugars, our body has to deal with a whole bunch of unfriendly byproducts. But if we dial back the very dark, crispy frying, favor gentler cooking methods like slow cooking, steaming, or boiling, occasionally use more stable saturated fats like a bit of animal fat, coconut oil, or butter in a smart way, choose natural sugars in moderation, and surround all of that with plenty of vegetables, fiber, and whole, fresh foods, then every meal becomes a small detox move for our over 40 bodies. If this kind of explanation helps you actually see what is happening in your pan, in your oven, and inside your body every time you eat, then hit subscribe, tap like, and share this video with a friend who is also over 40. That way I have a good excuse to come back with more episodes on simple, realistic, healthy meals that still taste great for men like us.